Hi, I'm Tanya Saunders, founder of AVID Language, a small niche publishing company which I formed to publish books for deaf and hard of hearing children. Initially inspired by auditory verbal therapies and the auditory verbal therapy journey that I went through with my own daughter, who is profoundly deaf and aided by cochlear implants, I started writing books to help her speech and language development. These were just sort of homemade books that I had made for her at home. And then when her auditory verbal therapist saw the books, she suggested that I publish them so that other kids could get access to them. And what's really exciting is that I'm no longer just publishing my own books, but I'm starting to branch out and publish books by other authors who are either parents of hard of hearing children or professionals working with hard of hearing children, or in some cases, people who are both parents and professionals working with hard of hearing children. Excuse me if you can hear a little bit of growling in the background. It's my puppy who wants more biscuits. Let me just see if I can angle my screen. Digby, come here, up. Come and say hello. Come say hello. Come. Oh, here he is. He's a bit wet because I just had to wash him because he's been rolling in something rather nasty. So before being allowed back in my office, he had to have a bath. Anyway, let's get back to it. Digby. Starting then, if you like, at the beginning of a child's listening and spoken language journey. The first book I'd like to show you is called Ling Ling Bird Hears with His Magic Ears. And it really is an introduction to learning to listen sounds for very early listeners. Of course, Ling Ling Bird, sorry about that. Of course, Ling Ling Bird is named after, I'm just going to have to stop here and I'll come back to you. Sorry about that. Hopefully the puppy has settled down a bit now. So I was talking to you about this book, Ling Ling Bird Hears with His Magic Ears, which is really for very early listeners who are just starting out on their listening and spoken language journeys. And it introduces them to a range of fun learning to listen sounds. And actually, I'm really proud and thrilled because just yesterday, I couldn't believe it, but this little book won a #1 bestseller in category badge on Amazon for being the best-selling book within its category of books, children's books about physical disabilities. And of course, it's based around this gigantic, colourful bird who is called Ling Ling Bird. And it's his first journey really into the world of sound. And then staying with Ling Ling Bird, the next book is Ling Ling Bird Seen and Heard, and for slightly older children, about 6 to 8 years old if they're reading it for themselves, or younger if they're reading it with an adult, because it has some ambitious vocabulary in it. This is a book about 2 parallel journeys of discovery. The giant Ling Ling Bird meets this tiny little chickadee and they become friends. And along the way, Ling Ling Bird discovers that being different doesn't prevent you from forming special friendships. And the little tiny chickadee gains a fascinating insight into the world of her bright and bombastic new buddy who happens to be deaf and is aided by cochlear implants. Then moving on, actually to the books that first got me started really on the publishing journey, which are part of the Bear Buddies Learning Adventure series. Now these books are really aimed at children who are starting school. So it's really primarily about deaf and hard of hearing children starting school and their friends. And I initially wrote them for my own daughter when she was about to start school, because she was almost totally non-verbal at the time. And I wanted to give her the basic vocabulary, basic language, and also importantly, some social skills to use in the playground. So they're very functional books. Friends Together is about making friends, simple playground language, how to interact with other children in the playground. And then this is actually, Uh-Oh Phew, is actually a trilogy of 3 books about helping others and helping yourself. And along the way, a cochlear implant gets lost and is found again. So it's got a lot of relevance for cochlear implant wearing children or hearing aid wearing children. They will, a lot of themes in this book will resonate with those children. As I say, school-age kids, or children just in that transitional period, moving out of the home environment into the school environment, giving them, a simple language, modelling both simple language and vocabulary, and modelling playground etiquette, if you like, interpersonal skills that they will need to thrive in a wider social setting. And then finally, this book, which really marks such an exciting progression for AVID Language, because this is the first book that is by another author. So not just my own books now are being published by AVID Language, but also books by other authors. And this book, A Girl Like Ananya, is written by Karen Hardwick, who herself is a teacher of the deaf and a parent of a deaf son. And it's the real life story of a remarkable girl called Ananya, who just happens to be deaf and wear cochlear implants, but she does not let this stop her in life, or does not let this limit her ambitions in any way. So this is a lovely book with a great role model for children with cochlear implants, or indeed with hearing aids. And as I said, it's a very exciting symbol for our little company, because it means, it's the symbol of us expanding. And I'm very happy to say that if you keep in touch with us this year, you will discover that we're bringing some more authors on board this year, and there will be a lot more content coming your way. So please do keep in touch. You can sign up for our quarterly newsletters. We're not going to bombard your inbox, but quarterly newsletters, or join our Facebook page. We're on LinkedIn as well, of course. avidlanguage.com. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.